Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. We have a special guest here. We also have an audio file from Joe Biden as well, who stated in this audio file that you take the shot, for COVID, you don't have to worry about getting the COVID virus. Yet he's gotten it, I think, twice. We also have Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer, who states, hold on, let's bring him out. Albert, thank you for coming.
Daryl, thank you for having me.
Well, tell us what you said in that interview with that woman. I forget her name, but tell us.
Well, Daryl, I'm a 59-year-old man. I don't want to jump the line. I don't need to take it because I am away from it. I'm not the first line defense. I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it. I don't want to cut the line. I don't want to make a people.
Hold on a sec. Albert, let me just say this. You're the CEO of the manufacturer of that COVID vaccine, okay? You should have been the first one in line with your sleeve rolled up and not giving excuses. He gave an excuse. Isn't that what we'd call vaccine hesitancy, ladies and gentlemen, business owners?
Daryl, I don't want you to tell the public that. Please don't do it. I know. I'm in bed with Pfizer. I'm in bed with the CDC, the NIH. Don't worry, FDA. We're all in bed. We sit on ANSI.
I know you do. I know you do. And that's where the corruption comes in, Albert. You should have been the first one in line. This video today is about, have people lost their survival instincts?
Of course, I'm a veterinarian. These people are sheep.
Take it easy. Take it easy, Albert. Don't. This is my crowd, Albert. Don't take the lead away from me.
Daryl, I'm a 59-year-old man. I know what I'm doing. I was a veterinarian. They're sheep. People are basically sheep. Sheeple, they call it.
Thank you, Albert. We'll sit him down. Oy vey. So, you have that first-hand thing from Albert Bourla. Yes, he's a veterinarian. So out there, those people who gave excuses, I had to take it, my mother's sick, or I did get her sick, my kids, my wife, I had to keep it for my job, blah, blah, blah. All these excuses. What do you think about that?
Like I said, Daryl, I'm a veterinarian. They're all sheep.
Oh, take it easy. Take it easy, Albert. Holy shit. Sit down, please. The truth comes out. I think he had some Schlivovitz before he came here for the interview. Sorry. But anyway, let's continue. That's unbelievable. Anyway, I'm going to show you this. This is a video that we did on both Benjamin Netanyahu and Albert Bourla. And I want you to read the rat's commentary, where one rat says by Bourla, it said, "Did you get the vaccine yet?" The other rat over by Benjamin Netanyahu, it says, "No, they're still testing it on human beings." Nice, isn't it? Yeah, and he said that, hold on, I think I might have what Benjamin Netanyahu said. Hold on a second. Here it is. Here we go. Listen to this.
Detailed plans, but they're hard to tell in my mind. We came out of COVID first. I described that in my book, My Conversations with Albert Bourla at Pfizer. And I persuaded him to give tiny Israel the necessary vaccines to get us out first from the COVID. And the reason I could do that is because we have a database. 98%, a medical database, 98% of our population has digitized medical records and blue card. And anywhere you go in any hospital in Israel, north, south, doesn't make any difference. Boom, you punch it in and you know everything about this patient for the last 20 years. I said, we'll use that to tell you whether these vaccines, what do they do to people, not individual people, not with their individual identities, but statistically, what does it do to people with meningitis? What does it do to people with high blood pressure? What is it? You want to know that. So Israel became, if you will, the lab for Pfizer, and that's how we did it.
Israel became the lab for Pfizer. Isn't that nice? Albert, come back and say this.
I will tell you, Daryl, it was better than having a petri dish. A petri dish, you don't study it, but you have live organisms. It's beautiful. And they're sheeple. They're like sheep. Since I'm a veterinarian, we knew it.
Thanks. Yes. So, I'm going to play Albert's interview that he had. We heard Benjamin Netanyahu say that all of Israel was a petri dish. Wasn't that something I don't know his exact words. I wasn't there at the time. Mengele would say, "Oh, we got live organisms here." Oh my God. And I hate to use that terminology, but business owners and my fellow citizens, here we go. And this is what Biden said. I'm going to let you listen to Biden first and let him tell you that taking the shot, you won't get sick. Here it is. Let's get to it. There we go.
You're okay. You're not gonna get COVID if you have these vaccinations. So you're okay. You're not gonna get COVID if you have these vaccinations. So
Here's the President of the United States saying that.
you're okay. You're not gonna get COVID if you have these vaccinations. So you're okay. You're not gonna get COVID if you have these vaccinations. So
And then we're going to go right to Mr. Fauci, as a matter of fact, we have here. Listen to what he says.
You can't take what's normally a decade-long process for developing a product and ensuring its safety and efficacy and compressing it into 6 to 9 months and not cut some corners. That's just absurd.
That is not Mr.
We
Fauci.
did not
Here it
fund
is.
gain-of-function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The preponderance of evidence now points towards this coming from the lab, and what you've done is change the definition on your website to try to cover your ass, basically. Your own agency has rebuked them.
We also now know that NIAID, the department associated with the National Institutes of Health, of which Dr. Anthony Fauci is in control, had already been conducting experiments with the Wuhan lab in the past in regard to coronavirus.
Remdesivir, better early on because it's an antiviral. We did not fund gain-of-function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The preponderance of evidence now points towards this coming from the lab, and what you've done is change the definition on your website to try to cover your ass, basically.
You can't take what's normally a decade-long process for developing a product and ensuring its safety and efficacy and compressing it into 6 to 9 months and not cut some corners. That's just absurd.
We did not fund gain-of-function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Now you heard that. I'm going to show you something, business owners, to verify this, that they did know. This is from May 17th to 19th, 2017. And that speech that he gave, I think, was from his deposition he was doing most recently in 2022 or so, or 2021, with Senator Rand Paul. As you can see, this says upcoming events, second China-U.S. workshop on the challenges of emerging infections, laboratory safety, and global health security, May 17th and 19th, 2017. And the very first commentary, business owners, the bullet point is gain-of-function research. So I'm saying this to you again. This video is about, have people lost their survival instincts? QA authority Daryl Guberman explains. It's very simple. And let me do Albert Bourla, and he will be the last presentation I do for you. And I want you to understand this, that I do this because of integrity, honesty, and the truth. And you need to hear the truth. Because if I was you and you took the vaccine, I'd be out in the streets with signs, picketing the FDA, the CDC, the White House. I was down in Washington picketing ANSI in October because I went and I tried to apply for a director at large in 2022 in June. And who was there? The guy who called me up and said, "Half a nut, fuck you." Russ Cheney was the nominating chairman of the director at large position. Can you imagine that baloney? So I went to New York, and then I went down to Washington, and I was standing out there. You can find my videos on my website concerning that the The Secret Service came up to me, the FBI was walking by me, and the police came up to me. And the funniest thing is, the little officer said, listen, do you have a permit? I said, I sent the permit in 3 weeks ago. I can't help it. I'm not 1,000 people. She said, well, who are you representing? And you know what I said to her? Integrity, honesty, and the truth. And I'm telling you the truth. You should get out there. If you took this shot and you're listening to this, you should get out there and do something in the streets, because that's what's needed here. Because you have all of this mess. Now, Albert Bourla is the best, because here he is, the CEO of the manufacturing organization. By the way, sitting on ANSI's board is Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, sitting by federal agencies such as the FDA, USDA, NIH, CDC, all of them harmoniously put together. On top of it, and I'm going to show this to you business owners, you have Zhao Jinwu. Zhao Jinwu, who in 2015 took over chairmanship of the International Accreditation Forum in Delaware, incorporated in Delaware. A communist Chinese national who's been involved with our quality since 1994, and he is mandated by his country of origin, Communist China, to take your data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. He is also, this is the reason why he's standing in Wuhan, he was also, at that time, the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services in Peking, China. So he handed them an ISO 17025 certification. You have Pamela Sale. Pamela Sale, who at the time was the vice president of certification or accreditation at the ANSI ANAB, and she watched over ASCLD Lab, which is owned by ANSI ANAB, and ANAB also accredits laboratories along with the ASCLD Lab. So she said this. She said, one of the issues is that there is no commonly agreed upon set of standards that forensic labs around the country have to follow. Instead, there are informal guidelines that labs can choose to follow or not. So I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to reread it with a couple different labs in there. One of the issues is that there is no commonly agreed upon set of standards that forensic labs, bio-level 4 labs like in Wuhan, China, or phlebotomy labs around the country or the world have to follow. Instead, there are informal guidelines that labs can choose to follow or not. She basically confessed to the release of the COVID virus from the Wuhan lab. It is absolutely deplorable. Now I'm going to get to Albert Bourla, and then we're going to call it a day with this, because I think you've heard enough. And here it is.
I want to ask you also about a very important issue of vaccine hesitancy. Even folks who get most of their vaccines normally might be hesitant about these vaccines because they were developed so quickly. What do you tell those folks who might be saying, well, I'm going to wait a few months before I get this one?
I would tell them I wish that the situation was not so critical so that they can have the luxury to think about it. But the situation is as deadly as it could be right now with the amounts of deaths or new cases that we are facing. So they need to think it twice. This is a vaccine that was developed without cutting corners from a company with 171 years of credentials. This is a vaccine that was developed in the spotlight and the daylight with all the data being put in servers. This is a vaccine that has been approved in the US by two separate governmental agencies, CDC and FDA, after listening to two separate independent scientific bodies. One is the FDA and the other is the ACIP for the CDC. And this is a vaccine that is getting approved by all authorities in the world. So that should say something to them. And I repeat once more, the decision not to vaccinate will not affect only your health or your life. Unfortunately, it will affect the lives of others and likely the lives of the people you love the most, which are the people that usually you are in contact with. So I think trust science.
Well, and a question for you. I've heard you have not yet had your shot. When do you plan to get it?
The sooner I can, I will. The only sensitivity here, Meg, is that I don't want to have an example that I'm cutting the line.
You should have been the first one in line,
I'm
Albert.
59 years old, in good health. I'm not working in the front line. So my type is not recommended to get vaccination now. So that's one consideration. On the other hand, our company ran a lot of polls to see what will take people to believe it. And one of the highest ranking, even higher than if Joe Biden takes it, even higher than if the other presidents take it, it is if the CEO of the company takes it. So with that in mind, I'm trying to find a way that I will get vaccinated, despite if it is not my time, just to demonstrate the confidence of the company. But we have made a decision that if we have to do that, we will not do it with our executives. So none of the executives or board members will cut the line. They will take it as their age and the occupation type is a time for them to take.
So, Albert, you said not even your board members would take it or cut the line. I think that's abominable. But I guess he wants another performance bonus, that's all. Albert, thank you very much for coming in. I'm going to leave it here, business owners and my fellow citizens. This video today has people lost their survival instincts. QA authority, Daryl Guberman explains. And I played you those audio files from Joe Biden, the president. Also, Albert Bourla. Anthony Fauci, who you've seen firsthand between May 17th and 19th, 2017 in Wuhan laboratory, the second annual workshop for America and China talking about gain of function. So he said he didn't even know about it. Unbelievable. And he's an NIH guy. NIH, CDC, FDA, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson all sit on ANSI's board. Half a nut, fuck you, by Russ Cheney. So I think it's a half a nut, fuck you, that he's telling you that we are when it comes to the COVID vaccine. He was expressing all the quality that they certify under. Laboratory, medical, whether it's pharmaceutical, aerospace, automotive, electronics. There's failures upon failures. And it is absolutely, unbelievably terrible. So I leave it here. My telephone number is 203-556-1493. Or Daryl, TQRS@yahoo.com, DARYL, TQRS@yahoo.com. And the next video that I'm going to supplement this with is our survival instinct failing us? QA authority Daryl Guberman says yes, and I thank you.